This is not at all how I planned or expected to come back to this channel, and yet here we are. What is going on, guys? Dark Puffle here for once on EXP, and today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the trailer that we got yesterday for Paper Mario: The Origami King. I kind of dropped the trailer on Arcade Wave the other day, and it was just so out of left field that I didn't really get a chance to do a real reaction or anything. It just dropped. It was just there. Like I saw the whole thing on Twitter, halfway thinking it was fake, only to find out that this was the real deal. And not only that, but this game is so close. It's only 2 months away. I cannot sit here and believe that. So, you know, this week I was planning on getting back to work on EXP and doing some real stuff over here because I've been slacking way too much, and there's really no reason for that to happen anymore, especially during quarantine. So I'm getting back to work. Again, though, this is not how I planned to do it, but here's where we are, because I'm going to be doing a lot more of these, and they're going to be coming like a lot sooner, a lot faster. There's no reason for me to withhold, you know what I'm saying? So we're talking about the Origami King. We're going to be talking about the 3 goods and the 3 bads that I feel necessary to bring up regarding the trailer alone. And, you know, there's some things I find promising and some things I find quite worrisome in regards to Paper Mario: The Origami King, only because, you know, with the last couple of games, you know, as everybody's been concerned about, they weren't there, Chief. Those weren't it. Those weren't what anybody asked for or anything. So I don't know. We really don't know what to expect with this one. They just kind of threw this one left. They gave us this one left field, and they gave us this little bit of information regarding the story and regarding the battle system, which they showed even less of, which is weird for a game that's coming out as soon as it is. But that's just where we are now. You know, they got together what they could and just threw it at us because we don't have time for a direct anymore, I guess. So I figure this is one of those things that was probably supposed to show up in the instant direct that got dropped to us, like, what was that, last month or whatever, whenever we got that. But because of quarantine and because of COVID and everything like that, they probably weren't able to fit this in there like they could have, or like they wanted to rather, because they probably didn't have the trailer finished, or maybe there was just some things in the game they needed to touch up, or I don't know. Hell, there's still a chance this could get delayed, but you know, dropping that trailer and that release date so late, you know, I'm sure that they're confident that that's when the game is coming to us. So I'm all right with that, I guess. But you know, I want to talk about what I think about the game and if I think it's worth, you know, picking up just yet. We'll have to see. I'm more than likely to pick it up, but you know. Anyway, I digress. Why don't we just start going ahead at what? Why don't we start going ahead and getting into the topics that I want to talk about, which is the 3 goods and 3 bads. I'm just going to hop right into it because I tend to waste way too much time. This should have been out yesterday, and this should have been out this morning today. But I really had to get my thoughts together on this one. I couldn't just sit there and just throw it out because it was just a bundle of emotions. I was just like, why is this here? Why is this? Whatever. Anyway, why don't we get started? So we'll talk about the goods first. Let's just get the good stuff out of the way. You know, let's talk about what looks promising, because you know, a lot of people are just usually so angry about the Paper Mario series that, you know, they just kind of ignore the good things. You know, there are some good things when it comes to these newer Paper Mario games, especially this one. This is probably the most promising of the 3 that we've gotten in the last decade. So why don't we talk about it? So one of the few good things that looks very, very promising about this game is actually the story. Like the whole overthrowing the kingdom and everything like that, and it's not Bowser. You know, we love that. We love a new antagonist. We love new concepts, you know? And, you know, with Paper Mario, now that they're really, really digging into this whole, they're paper, we're playing with crafting, you know, now that they're really playing with this concept, it really makes sense to have somebody like an Origami King have this culty vibe about him, and he really wants to, you know, turn everybody into origami. You know, he wants to get everybody in on his cult. You know, it makes a lot of sense. It adds up a lot, and I'm super, you know, down for that plot line. You know, who knows what could come of that? That could be a mess. And you know what? We like a good mess to clean up. All right, we're the hero. You know, the more we clean up, the better we look. The stronger we get. All right, so this is just nothing but promising. But you know, who really knows what could come of the story? But I will say, at least as far as the trailer goes, they did a very good job of showcasing what this story is going to be about, and I'm totally with it. It has a lot of action, it has a lot of suspense, especially for a Paper Mario game. That's crazy, but I'm totally 100% here for it. 1000%. Next up, I want to talk about the very appealing graphical style and the visuals. This game looks very fun. It's 2020. It's a very 2020-esque game. Like, you could tell for Paper Mario, like, I'm totally more than with this. It's so pretty, and I'm totally down to look at the trees and the Goombas and everything about it. You know, the Origami takes on its own graphical style, while Paper Mario still keeps his unique style about him, while not destroying everything that the game has to offer in terms of looks. And I really appreciate what this game has going for it in style, in terms of its style. I really like what it has going on here. It does look very pretty to me, and it does look like a lot of fun, you know, abusing the crafting system with Mario's big ass arms now, you know, pulling down things, and, you know, paper crafted Bowser over there. You know, Nintendo really likes some arts and crafts, don't they? They really love those arts and crafts. Look at Yoshi's Crafted World. You know what I mean? This is something, I mean, I don't think, no, this is Intelligent Systems. I don't know who developed, I don't know the team who developed the Yoshi games, but, you know, this is clearly something they've had in mind for a while now. This isn't the first time, you know, they've even considered it. You know, they've been thinking about this since probably Sticker Star, who knows. But really, the concepts blend and mesh, or I'm sorry, the style of paper and the origami, the everything about the crafted aspect of this collides nicely, and it looks very good to me. It's a very, very well done mixture, and I'm looking forward to looking at this game. It just looks visually appealing, and they do a good job of making, like, origami characters look super ominous and scary, and, like, you know, we need to run away from that or fight that directly, which is exactly what we're going to be doing the entire time. So, beautiful mesh, wonderful mesh. I'm with it. I'm here for it. Totally, completely. Another thing I expect as far as the goods, there's probably going to be a lot of good writing and funny dialogue. From what I've heard about Paper Mario Color Splash, while there is nobody on planet Earth that will sit there and say that Color Splash is their favorite game, or you can argue with me all you want. You can sit there and be like, but you know, I'm right. Not one person on planet Earth, if you ask them, hey, what's your favorite game? They're not going to say Color Splash. However, there is one, if there is anything Color Splash had going for it, it was its writing, it was its dialogue, it was its funny dialogue. It had a lot of promise. Like, it almost had enough promise for me to actually spend money on the game. You know, it wasn't incentive enough for me to actually go out and pick up the game, but it was enough to make me at least consider it after looking at the gameplay and the dialogue. Like, I was pleased to see that the charm was still there. Like, there's a lot of charm to Color Splash, and I could really appreciate that. So, we're still gonna have a lot of charm coming from, you know, new Mario characters that we may not have met before. You know, the origami characters, I'm sure they're gonna have a lot of, you know, folding puns or whatever the heck. But, you know, I feel like it has a lot of promise, despite the fact that, you know, all of the enemies look, you know, fairly generic. You know, at the very least, if there's one thing they can have, it's, you know, personality amongst, you know, that group. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm looking forward to the personality, I'm looking forward to the dialogue, I'm looking forward to the writing. You know, that's something that will probably never really dissatisfy. Well, now that we've at least gone over what looks promising and what I'm actually looking forward to as far as this game, I think it's about time we get into the things that are not looking so hot or maybe scary. And, you know, I'd say I hate to be that guy, but I kind of like to be that guy. You know, complaining is fun, you know, to an extent. I'm not going to sit here and lie, but, you know, as long as it's justified, you know, I'm not going to sit here and trash the game, call it complete garbage, because I don't know what I don't know yet. I'm just saying, I am a little worried about a few of these aspects, you know, and it's pretty fair to be worried considering the last couple games that we got. And even though I got into the Paper Mario series late, you know, I have played at least the first 3 and looked very heftily in the Color Splash. And I can, you know, I can look at them and appreciate, you know, what they give, but I can also acknowledge their flaws as well. So it's only fair to look at this game and, you know, acknowledge what could potentially be a hefty flaw, you know, based on its previous entries. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna be fair about it. You know, we're gonna be fair about it. So I want to talk about it. Let's go ahead and hop into this. The first thing that really worries me is the possibility of the useless tag-along partners again. There were a couple screenshots and trailers and stuff like that, and of you know, partners in Color Splash, only for them to be not present within the battles at all, for them to have no significance to anything as far as I'm aware. They didn't do anything. They weren't partners in battle that you could use, and that's kind of mid. That's I don't know how, that kind of sucks for an RPG where, you know, for turn-based battling, you know, you consider that an RPG, and usually you have partners for that kind of thing, so it's not just one person on the field handling an army of enemies, you know, and it makes it more fun, it makes it more unique, you know, you get to utilize these characters and, you know, really see what kind of abilities these unique characters were able to bring to the table back in the day. So, you know, now, at the very least, even if we're not getting crazy unique characters or anything, we're getting a generic Bob-omb for a character that's gonna follow us around. We're getting, I think, a couple Koopas. We're getting Bowser, you know, folded Bowser, I guess. You know, at the very least, it would be fun to see, you know, how these characters would fare in battle. And, you know, it's kind of scary that, you know, based on the last couple entries, they may not even be present. So, based on the trailers that we do have, we don't know. We really don't know what to think yet. But in the little snippet of gameplays that we did get, there was our version of the gameplay where there were no partners at all. However, there was a snippet of gameplay in the Chinese trailer where they actually got a Toad. There was a Toad next to Mario while he was battling a line of boos. Now, I don't know why they decided to, you know, withhold that from our version of the trailer, but there's only so much we can know now, I guess, based on what they've given us. I guess there's only so much they want us to know right now, and one of those things is keeping us in the dark as to if we're going to get partners in battle or not. But based on the gameplay I've seen, I think it's safe to bet that we're probably not. But there's really no way to know. There's really no way to know how early in the gameplay that one little snippet was of him turning the stage to line up the enemies. You know, there's no way to tell anything from that little thing. You know, we don't know what we don't know. So we're just gonna have to wait, find out the hard way. Speaking of the battle system, that is probably the #1 thing on my list here that I'm worried about the most. Now, like I said, I love RPGs. If you know me, you know I love RPGs, and I love battling. I love grinding. You know, I love, you know, if I'm having trouble with an enemy, go out and get stronger. You have no reason not to. Go beat some enemies and do what you should have been doing. Go do the side quests, get the right armor you need, do what you need to do, and prepare for this next upcoming battle, this upcoming big battle that you need to, you know, prepare for. The last couple games didn't have that. You know, we're all fully aware that there was no such thing as like grinding or anything like that. As a matter of fact, you could barely consider them RPGs. They were just turn-based battling with, you know, you get some coins afterwards and that's it. And, you know, there was really no need. So that's what I'm worried about the most. It's not even necessarily the battle system itself. The battle system itself looks fairly unique, as a matter of fact. The whole turning mechanic to line up your enemies and maybe get more attack, or to hit all of them at once, or whatever you're doing. I have no idea what the hell Mario's up to. But that whole mechanic is actually quite interesting. I'm actually very much looking forward to testing that out and really, you know, getting my hands dirty with that. You know what I'm saying? Seeing what kind of strategies that could lead to. But, and I also hope it provides a decent amount of challenge. But that's, you know, that's all we have on that. And it's a little scary because, you know, if that's all we have, then how are we going to know if these battles are going to be worth it in the end? Because if you know, you see an enemy and usually you're like, oh, okay, you know, I could get some coins or whatever, or I could get some experience, whatever. But, you know, in the last couple games, you know, there has been no point to battling. There was really no point to battling. If anything, actually, as far as Color Splash goes, it was actually more beneficial to not battle and, you know, not waste your cards, your precious cards that you've been saving up for the big battle. You know, so it's like, what's gonna come of this one? Obviously, there's no card system, but, you know, even if it is improved and you just get to decide if you want to attack or defend or whatever the hell you want to do a special attack, even with that, is there gonna be a point to fighting? You know, do we get anything out of that? Or is it just going to be a waste of time where we could just get coins, even though we could probably get plenty of coins in the overworld? You know, what do I gain from this? Like, at the very least, if there's anything that should come from this, it should be, you know, at the very least, make the coins more valuable, so that, you know, maybe we can only really get like a good amount of coins from battling, and we really need coins to get better equipment. Even then, it makes battling worth it. Just something to make battling not pointless. That's all I'm asking. But that's, you know, that's what worries me. I don't know. I'm so scared to see what that's gonna bring, because, you know, the battling aspect is the whole game. You know, if you make that pointless, then the whole game is kind of pointless. You know what I mean? Like, maybe the story's nice, maybe the story's great, but, you know, making the battling pointless. I mean, obviously you're gonna fight bosses and stuff, which is gonna be cool and unique probably. But if there's, you know, if the generic enemies are just there to be there, that sucks. That ruins a lot for me, and I'm never gonna be satisfied with that. But it is what it is. It is what it is. And then the last thing on my list is actually something I forgot to mention as part of the goods as well. But in the goods, I was gonna say that there's a good chance that Bowser isn't the final boss, but there's still also a chance that a form of Bowser could still be the final boss. You know, like we did have in in Mario and Luigi, the Paper Jam. In Paper Jam, it wasn't just regular Bowser, it was just some like crafted paper mache Bowser. And, you know, in Origami Bowser as a final boss, I'm gonna be displeased. I'm not gonna lie, it's so generic, it's so overdone. Just make it the Origami King. I want to fight the Origami King one-on-one in a hard-ass bout. Alright, I want to get the kingdom back. He wants to recreate the kingdom. Who's gonna, you know what I mean? You know, there's no reason, you know, obviously Bowser's with us, you know, so it's obviously not going to be this version of Bowser that's going to be a final boss, but, and you could have a crafted Bowser as a big boss. That's totally fine. Just don't make it an Origami Bowser for the final boss. I'm totally fine with that as a second boss or whatever, second and last, whatever. I don't care. Just don't make it the final boss. I'm sorry. That's just me. That's just me. Anyway, I think that's pretty much all I have to yell about and complain about. That's it. That's really it. But hey, as far as my, you know, my doubts about the game, I hope that I'm wrong. I want them to prove me wrong. You know, I'm sure I think that this game has a lot of promise. Just from that one trailer alone, on just a little bit of information that we got, I feel like this game has a lot of promise. I feel like they have done a little bit of listening. I'm sure they have listened. There's no way they could ignore their fan base for over a decade comfortably. There's no way. So they've heard some pleas, and they've probably taken a look at Color Splash and said, at the very least, they said, okay, what can we improve on here? So while the series is definitely taking a different direction than everybody would like, they could do something good with this direction. I fully believe that the direction that they're going in could be potentially greater, just depending on what they do. I mean, I doubt it would be better, but it has potential. Who knows? Who knows? This opens up an avenue to a whole new fan base, a whole new set of players that might not be experienced with Paper Mario. And, you know, this is what they're gonna see. This is the Paper Mario that they're gonna know. You know, they don't know Paper Mario 64 or Thousand Year Door like we do. This is the Paper Mario that they're getting introduced to. So, starting here, right here, is a good starting point if they can do this right. If they can make battles proper, if they can make a at least decent story with some good humor and everything across the board as far as writing, you know, and at least make battles fun and just be very creative as opposed to how they've been in with the past few games. As long as they can do that, I think we have a decent long-running series on our hands, and it can only improve from there as long as they listen and actually go out of their way to improve what they've had. You know what I mean? So that's just me though. But anyway, I digress. That is probably going to go ahead and do it for this little discussion. Thank you for hearing my ramble. You know, I've got some properly scripted things on the way. Don't worry. For myself and for this channel and for Arcade Wave, you know, make sure you subscribe to please make sure to subscribe to Arcade Wave. Okay, that's where the wave is right now. Don't miss that. Please don't miss that. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this though. I want to thank you guys ever so much for watching. I truly do hope you enjoyed. Do me the greatest favor of dropping a like and a comment, and I really truly do hope to see you guys in the next video. Do me the greatest favor of taking good ass care, and I will see you all next time.